I wasn't actually sure. I was two minds really of whether to do this video now or wait till the second half of the first season airs on Netflix on May 25th, so in about 3 weeks. But actually, after watching the first 4 episodes again today, this afternoon and into this evening, I thought, why not talk about the first 4 episodes now, and then I'll go back once I've watched the next 4 episodes, or the second half of the first season, and then I'll talk about those episodes then. Yes, I'm talking about the Netflix series The Toys That Made Us, which is a look at really some of the most popular brands and companies in toy history. And if you watch all of the episodes, even the brands, they look at what each other are doing, the companies do the same, and there's some interplay and interconnectivity kind of between the companies, including Hasbro, who, it's not really a spoiler, buys Kenner at one point. This series is actually a really good series. You really get a good look at the design, development, creation of all of the toys that are featured. I'll run through the 4 episodes and what they talk about. I'm looking on my laptop. You probably see the light kind of underneath me. I've got it just on the Wikipedia page just for to keep me right on which which episodes are which, and also which episodes are coming up. As I said, the second half of the first season is still coming up. So the first episode, Star Wars. Star Wars, it takes a real look at the Kenner toy company and how they acquired, in the process of acquiring, the one of the most famous movie brands, movie franchises in the whole entire world, Star Wars. How a little company from Cincinnati became a major player in the toy business, and you also see some of the controversies surrounding how that came about, including, and I'm not going to go into all because it's going to kind of spoil the episodes, and I really actually want people to, the whole point of this video is for people, if they haven't watched the series, to go and watch it. So if any of those who haven't watched it, you'll know about what I'm talking about. But the contract between Lucasfilm, Kenner, for the Star Wars toys, it's an unbelievable deal, and there's fallout from the deal later on, and from the kind of conditions, contractual details of that, and how that all plays out as well. So you get a real good look at how a small company explodes onto the toy scene, and really how, to be honest, how some people didn't have faith really in Star Wars as well, and how they took advantage of that. As you see, other companies turned George Lucas down when it comes to making the toys for the original Star Wars trilogy. Kenner took advantage of that. You see them really leap on that chance and see how it goes in that episode. Like, see about the controversy about the contract and how it slightly came to bite them on the backside later on. It is a decent story as well. Obviously, Star Wars is getting a really big renewal right now because of the new films that have come out. I've just watched The Last Jedi. There's the Han Solo ones, I think it's just out in cinemas. I'll watch that eventually when it comes on to DVD, Blu-ray, or on the movie channels that I've got. So it's a really good episode. The first episode is a really, really good introduction. The second episode is about Barbie. Now, I didn't actually, honestly, Barbie as a guy, as a straight guy, I didn't really think I was going to be interested in the Barbie episode, I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to be really pay much attention to it. But it's actually a good episode. It deals with different dynamics. The Mattel co-founder Ruth Handler, her bringing the doll from a really dodgy kind of base that the doll is based on. There's a doll that was based on. There was pretty much a guy who'd kind of gift it to a woman as kind of an indication of what he wants from her, and then Ruth and Mattel kind of work, and it's all also about female equality, about the reactions to Barbie through the years, Barbie's careers, the presentation and marketing of Barbie is a big thing, and you hear about also there's a fallout with Jack Ryan, who's a guy that kind of went and quite a lot created the look of Barbie originally, a few times I think, and the big fallout, and he ends up suing them, and it's a whole thing. But actually, it's a lot better episode than I thought. I thought I genuinely would not be interested in the Barbie episode, but it actually turned out to be quite a good one. The He-Man episode is next. The third episode is He-Man. That episode really was one I'm interested in. I was an 80s kid, grew up in the 80s, really kind of get into the mid 80s, really in to late 80s, obviously. And He-Man was certainly one of the toys I had. Quite a few of the toys. I watched the TV series. I saw one of the memories that I have of visiting an auntie was watching. We stayed with her for a couple of days. One of the things that we did, and even at home I did, watched the He-Man cartoon, He-Man Masters of the Universe. So I played with those toys when I was really young, and this subject interested me. What I can say about the He-Man episode, like I said, I don't really want to spoil it because I really want people to go and watch these episodes. The He-Man episode, you really get to see the creation from virtually nothing. I wouldn't say absolutely nothing because it very much takes an inspiration from like Conan the Barbarian, and that barbarian muscle guy. Obviously, if obviously people know who He-Man is, or kind of what He-Man's about. And I think actually some of the episodes of He-Man and She-Ra, also his sister, are maybe still on Netflix. They were a couple of weeks ago, but so you can watch them. But you really see pretty much from nothing to almost, certainly from some inspiration, the creation of He-Man and Skeletor and the whole He-Man universe. Really, they're trying to find something to compete with. I think it was with the likes of Star Wars. They tried different. You see them. You hear about them trying different things. Flash Gordon, Giants. They refer to them also as small toy things, and you really hear about the creative process of designing a new toy line, how each of the designers, which is great about this series, you hear from those involved, not just celebrity talking heads. Oh, I like this figure. Oh, I like this superhero, or this character. You hear from the designers, those actually right there involved in the creation, design, and sometimes manufacture of these toys, and you do certainly get that in the He-Man episodes. And so you hear about the kind of almost the whole lifespan of He-Man. He's not really any. I'm not sure what stage like the toys of He-Man are right now, but you get to hear a lot about as I say, the life of He-Man as you do in all of these toys. But really, He-Man is a great look at the creation and moving forward of a brand new toy line. The fourth and final episode so far up is G.I. Joe. That's an interesting one to me because they talk about in the Star Wars one, the He-Man one. They two are both a mixture of science fiction, space thing, because around about the time of Star Wars, through the 60s and 70s, you see actually it's a great example in in some of the films, like Toy Story. You have Woody, the the cowboy, but then here comes Buzz Lightyear. That's pretty much what happened in the 60s, 70s, even into the 80s. Space, science fiction took over, really, the domain of boys' toys from cowboys and police, and all these this new space race kind of, there's like secondary or third space race, but and toy lines, and GI Joe is really about kind of attempting to stick to kind of a traditional soldier toy line. Its downfall a little bit, and then their attempts to revive that toy line, and being real and trying to carry that, ride that, really, that wave of patriotism that there was in America in the kind of the 1980s, the Reagan era, Cold War, etc. Obviously the military is always, as I said, the military has been there for many, many years when it comes to toys. The army, the navy, the air forces, right around the world, whatever country it is. So obviously it's mostly about America, but you really see them kind of trying to obviously the real life heroes of the military. They try and keep that the specialism, speciality kind of, well, not really special. Because the military is like, it's always been seen as very special in many people's eyes. Of course it is, and they try to keep that going. They try to keep that in child's minds of, I want to play with airplanes, and instead of going for all these, trying to keep it in reality and rather than all this kind of space and science fiction stuff. So that episode's really about battling back, and Steven Hasselfeld taking over and running Hasbro, and the guys really trying to develop and modernise G.I. Joe into things. You hear about the creation of Cobra, the arch enemies of G.I. Joe and his team, and I hear a little bit about that kind of thing. So that's what the episodes are. I think, like you said, this is a really good series. Like I said, the really benefits of this series is that, like I said, you hear from the creators. I mean, George Lucas actually declined to be interviewed for that documentary series, but the real great advantages or benefits of this documentary series, The Toys That Made Us, is that you hear from people who were part of the design, innovation, creation often, and manufacture and marketing and selling of all of these toys lines, from Star Wars, Barbie, He-Man, G.I. Joe. You hear from the people involved. Yes, there's a few talking heads, not really well sourced. There's a couple of authors, a psychologist woman, I think, and she's also a bit of an author, who I didn't really take to. She's in the Barbie episode. Look out for, in the Barbie episode, I believe it's a deflated doll in the seat. You'll know what, if you have watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's very, very weird to see that when they're interviewing the lady that was once the head of Mattel, after, was it her name? I said it earlier, Ruth Handler is kind of ousted, and that's all part of the Barbie story. They said the great thing about this series is you hear from the people who were involved, from the creation, innovation, design, manufacture and marketing of these toys. You hear from people who were there at the time, and that's a large part of each of these episodes. The episodes last from about 45 to 50 minutes. They're really good, they're really in depth, they're very well edited. I really, really enjoyed them. So I would certainly suggest to people to go and watch on Netflix The Toys That Made Us. Episodes coming up on May 25th include Lego, Transformers, Hello Kitty and Star Trek, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those episodes. But I can certainly recommend for people to go and watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix.